Welcome to the ElfQuest Collector's Guide, your handy helper for collecting all things ElfQuest, showcasing a different collectible or unboxing video each week. I'm your pack leader for this hunt, Mandy Meyer, or as I'm known around the ElfQuest web world as my elf self, Shadowfire. Today, we're going to be talking about Fantasy Quarterly number 1. Fantasy Quarterly number 1 was published in February of 1978 by the Independent Publishers Syndicate. It consists of 40 pages printed in black and white on cheap newsprint paper. It features the very first appearance of ElfQuest in Fire and Flight, and also featured the story Doorway to the Gods by T. Casey Brennan and early artwork by Dave Sim. Its original cover price was only $1, but collector guide websites such as comicbookrealms.com have its current value listed at $100 for near-mint copies. I personally see it listed for around $60 or less on eBay, starting with very fine condition copies. Occasionally, a copy will appear for less, so if you have a wary eye and a lot of patience, you will find a good deal. Alright, let's dig in. Now, I've only personally looked at this twice. Once when I first got it, of course, I had to look at it as soon as it arrives, and once just before this video so that I could kind of get an idea of what I wanted to talk about. Okay, so first off, if you look, there's the cover. Very, very, very early artwork of the elves by Wendy. Look at those ears on them. Not quite the same shape, almost. Pretty much the same shape, but just a little bit different. It's printed on very cheap, very thin newsprint paper, just like what you get your newspapers at the grocery stores printed on. Very thin, not durable whatsoever. I've actually seen a lot of these copies of this on eBay that have rips and tears along the spines. They'll have chunks missing around at the edges. You know, they'll be sun bleached. Be careful when you go to buy these, okay? The number one place I can recommend to buy these is, of course, the Wolfrider Shop at ElfQuest.com. It'll come straight from Wendy and Richard, and those ones come autographed. The ones that are autographed go for so much more on eBay, it's a little ridiculous. So if you want a copy for only $100 on the Wolfrider Shop at ElfQuest.com, I'll put a link in the description. I'll put a link somewhere around here. I'll put an annotation, maybe right here. They are like collector's copies. They are perfectly well kept. Awesome. So as we start, we can see Fire and Flight, Part 1. Now we've got the human spirit man praying to his god Gotara. We all know how this goes. They rescue Redlands. Follow me, wolf riders, to the caverns of the trolls. Very classic, very classic. And then we get to the center, and we have Doorway to the Gods by T. Casey Brennan and early artwork by Dave Sim. Now, then we get through that little story. Very awesome artwork, of course. It's Dave Sim, creator of Cerebus. So, you know, we get through that. And then we dive right back into Fire and Flight Part 2, where the elves are all at the entrance to the troll caves, clang, clang, clang on the door. And of course they force their way in, because there's a fire and they don't want to be out in the fire. Now what I wanted to point out in this section of it is, if you look at the artwork, you can really tell how characters have changed over the years. Just take a look at Picky right there. Good old Picky Picknose. Just look at how he has changed from original Quest to what we now know him in Final Quest to look like. Another one that I kind of think is just so cute. She looks so petite and like a little maiden is Oddbit. Look at how cute Oddbit is right there. She's just so sweet. Oh. Anyway. But you can really see how Wendy's artwork has changed and evolved over the years. If you take a good look at the beginning here with Fantasy Quarterly, and then you look at all of her artwork now in the Final Quest, it has truly evolved. It started off beautiful, and it's just gotten even more so even over the years as far as I'm concerned. So that was our look inside of Fantasy Quarterly number 1. I hope you guys liked it. So in my video last week, I forgot to mention that in every video I would like to do a question and answer session at the end. But I did post about them on Facebook, on the various ElfQuest-based fan groups. And I did get a few questions about my channel and about me that I would like to use for my question and answer session this week. So here we go, guys. Please excuse me if I kind of look down a lot. I have a prompt right down here that I'm using to help me kind of answer my question and answer session. Alright, so in the comments under my previous video, Sheila W. pointed out that I didn't have closed captions available for the hearing impaired. Thank you so much for pointing that out, Sheila. I did mean to have captions available, and I totally forgot putting them on there. Since you posted that, I did fix it. I added captions to my previous video, and I am planning to add captions to every video from here on. If I ever miss a video, feel free to just, everybody, attack me in the comments and go, Mandy, we need captions, please! And I will fix it as soon as I possibly can. Like, I dream a genie fast. Boom, 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 done. Alright, guys? So, I will get those captions to you if I forget them. Just remind me. On Facebook, Damon T asked me if I would be doing these videos every week. And though I answered him on Facebook, I figured it would be good to address this matter in my videos as well. And yes, I do intend to do these videos every week as long as everything goes as planned. I will be featuring either a new item from my collection, or I hope to do some collab videos with other collectors who have items that I don't have, or might be more knowledgeable about the items that I do have, because I gotta admit, guys, I'm not a pro. I'm learning as we go. So, thank you for your awesome question, Damon. I also want to do unboxing videos if I get awesome new items, not older collectibles. Like, I've already received a couple older collectibles since I started recording these videos. I'm not going to do videos for all of those. I'm only going to do unboxing videos for new items, like the Art of Wendy Pini, the line of beauty. I will do an unboxing video for that. I just ordered some RedBubble stuff from the new shop with some of the new designs, the Dark Words Cutter and True Peace, two of my favorite images. I'm so happy those are available now. So when that order comes, it's gonna kill me because it's coming in like 3 different pieces and they're all gonna get here in different days. And I can't unbox any of them until they all get here because I'm gonna do an unboxing video for you guys. So I hope you enjoy my torture of not being able to check out my new stuff as soon as it gets here. I do it for you. I hope you guys enjoy it. Damon T also asked me a great question. He asked me what are my 3 favorite eras other than the original Quest, which takes out one of my favorite eras because that is one of my favorite, the original Quest. But it's a good question nonetheless. So my 3 favorite eras other than original Quest, in no particular order, is Searcher and the Sword, Shards, and Final Quest. I am loving Final Quest. I'm loving all the new artwork from Wendy. I'm loving the coloring from Sunny. I'm getting chills just talking about it right now. So I'm loving Final Quest. Searcher and the Sword also had that very beautiful newer artwork. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with older artwork, but just the crisp, clean, and the colors that you can get with the newer digital artwork, I'm loving. I love all of Wendy's artwork anyway, and the fact that we can get this beautifully digitally rendered work, ooh, I'm loving it. So, Final Quest, beautiful. Now please excuse me, I would like to actually read my prompt for this next answer because it's such a long and kind of detailed answer that I wanted to make sure I get it all without forgetting things. So I'm going to be reading straight off my prompt, so please excuse me if I'm looking down and not directly at my camera. On Facebook, April L. suggested that I talk about when and why I started collecting ElfQuest. Well, I've loved ElfQuest since I was about 6, before I could even read, but I grew up on child support and we couldn't afford anything but comic issues and cheap collectible items. I had to focus my collecting habits on a series I could obtain easily and cheaply, and unfortunately, that didn't end up being ElfQuest. I really didn't have much of an ElfQuest collection growing up. I had the full set of 21 Warp Graphics copies that I picked up from my local library's free cart, as well as 1 or 2 issues of Wave Dancers, Metamorphosis, and Volume 2. I remember wanting the items I would see in the comic book ads, but we couldn't afford them, so I never even asked my mom for them. Therefore, as a child, Star Wars was more accessible and had cheaper collector's items that I could afford. So most of my non-comic fun money went to collecting whatever I could from that series, mostly just because I could actually afford the cheap items. Now as an adult, I'm actually going through and getting rid of much of my old Star Wars collection, because it never really had much meaning to me, and I've lost interest in keeping up with the franchise recently. So that wasn't the same story with ElfQuest. I've loved ElfQuest since I was 6. As I said before, I could even read. My favorite childhood memory is me and my best friend, who actually helped introduce me to ElfQuest, laying on her parents' bed, looking through the Starblaze Dawning editions that she had, and listening to the audio tapes and we were just kind of making fun of the different depictions of voices. If I remember right, we really thought Skywise was really kind of like dorky and funny sounding. I haven't listened to them in years, so they might be more accurate than I remember, but I remember laughing at them when I was a child, and it was a very good memory for me. Anyway, so that's when and why I started collecting ElfQuest. I couldn't as a child, and now as an adult on my own, independently, I can afford to collect my ElfQuest, and I love it, and I'm maybe a little obsessed. That's not bad, is it, guys? Right? On Facebook, Vera N asked if I would be uploading in high def so that I could show the items in their full glory. Ta-da! I'm really sorry, guys. I was a complete doofus for my very first intro video, and I used my webcam. That was silly of me, because it's an old laptop. I mean, webcams aren't good in any case, but this laptop is like 7 years old, so the webcam is just no bueno. No bueno, guys. So I'm really sorry about the last video being so low quality. From here on out, I'm using my actual video camera. They should be in high def, guys. Sorry. Enjoy! Oh, I also wanted to mention, guys, please keep in mind that this channel is new. It's still in its infancy. Everything is probably going to change, probably my backdrop. As you can see, I have some better lighting set up for this time. I have a display and everything. My videos will hopefully progressively get better and better as I get used to this new YouTube quest that I'm on. I hope you guys will enjoy the adventure with me, okay? Thanks for your amazing questions, guys and gals. Please join me and the rest of the tribe in the many ElfQuest-based fan groups around Facebook. That's it for this week's episode of the ElfQuest Collector's Guide. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I hope you learned some cool new info about items from our favorite fandom, ElfQuest. If you'd like to get a howl in my next video, or if you have a question that you'd like to have answered, go ahead and leave it down in the comment section below or on one of the many Facebook groups for next week's Q&A session. Also, because I forgot to mention Fantasy Quarterly being the subject of this week's video, go ahead and leave any questions you have about it in the comment section, and I'll answer those next week as well. And don't forget, next week's topic is going to be the original magazine-sized Warp Graphics editions. I'll be showing the covers, I'll be showing the backs. Until next time, guys, shade and sweet water, and happy hunting. Bye!